Good evening. Welcome to the March 2nd edition of the Downers Grove Village Council meeting. We have a relatively short agenda tonight. Also this evening, Commissioners Earl, Cullivaney, and Gray will be joining us by phone. As always, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rosa, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Barnett,
Here.
Commissioner Jose,
Here.
Commissioner Earl,
Here.
Commissioner Wallace,
Here.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit,
Here.
Commissioner Cullivaney,
Here.
Commissioner Gray.
Here.
Is there a motion to conduct this meeting electronically?
Mayor, I move that the council conduct the March 2nd, 2021 Village Council meeting electronically.
Second.
Any comments? Rosa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jose,
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace,
Aye.
Commissioner Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Cullivaney,
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit,
Aye.
Commissioner Earl,
Aye.
Mayor Barnett.
Aye. Thank you. We are all in attendance now. Item 3 on our agenda tonight is minutes of previous council meetings. Is there a motion concerning those minutes?
Mayor, I move that the council adopt the minutes of the February 16th, 2021 meeting as presented.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Rosa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jose,
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace,
Aye.
Commissioner Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Cullivaney,
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit,
Aye.
Commissioner Earl,
Aye.
Mayor Barnett.
Aye, thank you. We've had somebody join us this evening. Welcome. Glad you're here with us. I'll just remind everybody we've placed the general public comments section at the end of tonight's meeting in an effort to accommodate folks both online and in person. Item 4 is our consent agenda. Is there a motion concerning the consent agenda?
Mayor, I move that the council adopt the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Rosa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jose,
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace,
Aye.
Commissioner Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Cullivaney,
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit,
Aye.
Commissioner Earl,
Aye.
Mayor Barnett.
Aye. Moving right along, item 5 is normally our active agenda. We do not have an active agenda tonight. Item 6 is our first reading. This is the portion of the meeting where we take up topics sometimes for the first time, sometimes for a second or third, but not items we plan on acting on tonight. With that, over to you, Dave.
Thank you, Mayor Barnett. Only one item on tonight's first reading agenda. It's consideration of an award of contract for our street resurfacing contract B. Here to present background information on this item is our Public Works Director, Andy Sikich.
Good evening. As Dave mentioned, this item is our 2021 street resurfacing contract. It's part of a robust road maintenance program that we have this year, which will also include crack sealing, some preservation of the streets, which is a preservative seal, and things like that, which will come forward in future agenda items. But this one is the road resurfacing program. It's the largest of the bunch. It was bid earlier this year. We got 4 bids, 4 very good bids. The award, the low bidder was R.W. Dunteman Company for $4,464,000. And they have worked in the village before. It's been a while. It's been probably 7 or 8 years. But they have done other projects in the area and also projects for Naperville and Wheaton very satisfactorily. So staff is recommending approval of the contract.
Thanks, Andy. We'll start and go through the council. I think with remote members, we'll just call everybody by name. Rich, did you have any comments or questions about this item?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Marge?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Kavanaugh?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Greg?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to thank staff for bringing this forward. The investments in our roads and our other infrastructure are critical, especially after kind of putting so many things on pause last year due to COVID. As we learned over the course of many years, starting probably 15 years ago or so, when you let a road crumble to a non-maintainable state, it costs us about 4 times as much to then reconstruct it. So it's important that we keep up with these resurfacings and patchings and other maintenance procedures so that we can end up spending our money wisely and maintaining what we've got. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Greg. Leslie?
No, thanks, Mayor.
Nicole?
No questions, Mayor. Thanks to staff. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just second what Greg said, but I'd also ask, is there a spot online someplace that a resident could find out more details about the scope? In other words, if somebody says, is my road on this list? Could they go find it somewhere?
Yep, we have a web page for all of our major capital projects, and this one will be updated as soon as the contract is approved.
Fantastic. Any questions from the audience on our road contract? Seeing none. Thank you.
Thank you.
That ends our first reading tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
How about a manager's report, Dave?
Well, thank you, Mayor. The Village of Downers Grove participated in the February 28th vaccine clinic presented by the District 99 Consortium. The clinic was an unmitigated success, resulting in over 1,300 people receiving first doses of the Pfizer vaccine. The District 99 Consortium consists of several public school districts, private schools, and the villages of Downers Grove and Woodridge. These agencies worked well together to secure vaccine from the DuPage County Health Department and to arrange for CodoCare, a private sector healthcare company, to provide the shots. As the flyer says here on the screen, we worked together for a safe and healthy community. If you just take a minute and look at that long list of area school districts and villages, quite an accomplishment, this consortium. The clinic for first doses was held at South High School on Sunday. The same venue will play host to the second doses on Sunday, March 21st. The clinic focused on providing vaccine primarily to school employees, qualifying frontline essential employees of municipalities and park districts, and most importantly, residents of 4 municipalities aged 65 years of age and older. District 99 played the lead role, working hand in hand with DuPage County Health Department and CodoCare. I would like to publicly thank District 99 for their efforts and commitment to our community. Thank you to all District 99 Board of Education members, Superintendent Thiele, and the many District 99 staff members who made the clinic possible. I am proud to say that the village played a significant role as well, focusing our efforts on arranging appointments for our senior residents. Early last week, the village helped residents make appointments by launching a pre-registration request system. About 900 residents submitted requests for appointments. On Friday, the village sent online registration links to over 300 residents in priority order, with the oldest residents first. These appointments were offered to residents ages 74 to 101. Not all residents who received the online registration opportunity actually made an appointment. Therefore, on Saturday evening, the village sent online registration links to over 100 more pre-registered residents, this time in the age range of 70 to 74. The village continued with our support of the clinic on Sunday, staffing the event with paramedics, police officers, and several executive staff members providing some operational assistance. With about 30 minutes left in clinic operations, it became apparent that about 200 extra doses were available from excess vaccine in the vials. Village staff once again stepped into action by calling residents from the pre-registration list right there from the actual clinic. This time the ages ranged from about 65 to 70. We were alerting them to the opportunity to receive a vaccine immediately if they were to be able to arrive safely at South High School. These extra doses I'm talking about here were made on a first-come, first-served basis. Now let's take a look at the clinic by the numbers. When it was all said and done, just over 1,300 doses of vaccine had been administered. Over 500 shots were given to school employees and frontline essential staff members. I'm proud to report that over 350 Downers Grove residents received their first doses of vaccine, nearly all of them 65 years of age and older. Over 225 vaccines went to Woodridge residents, and over 50 went to Darien and Westmont residents. This was a free clinic with the vaccine provided at no charge to the recipients. Costs will be covered by the consortium members. The total cost of administering all of the vaccines is estimated to be about $60,000. The Village of Downers Grove will cover the cost of providing the vaccines to our staff and to our residents. That cost is currently estimated to be somewhere around $17,000. The actual cost will be known shortly. If it does exceed the manager's spending authority of $15,000, the Village Council will approve the payment at the next available council meeting. This is money well spent. Essentially, the village will use the money provided from the federal government that we received a while back from the CARES Act to cover the cost of this event. The District 99 Consortium Vaccine Clinic was a huge success. It's demonstrated the village's ongoing commitment to providing for the health, safety, and well-being of our residents. It's an example of our top quality service that the village provides, and it's an example of our exceptional working relationship that we enjoy with our fellow government agencies. I was very proud to play a small role in this event, so was our staff team. We thank you, and we're happy to answer any questions that the council may have at this time.
Thanks, Dave. Kavanaugh, do you have any questions for Dave?
No, Mayor, I just wanted to say, when we looked at this task and what everyone did, everyone's role, from the village to the districts and to the other municipalities, I think it's just one of those things where you just feel really proud of our community, the fact that we were able to serve 350 of our most vulnerable residents is just a good thing. So I just wanted to thank everyone involved, thank our staff and our particular participants here for a job well done. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Marge?
I just want to thank everybody involved again. This is an amazing feat that you guys pulled off in a rapid amount of time. The registration, the IT guys, I can't believe they got it done so quick. They just really outdid themselves in getting that registration up and going. And I think it's probably the best $17,000 we've ever spent. So thank you to everyone, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Marge. Rich?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank the consortium members for coming together. It's a wonderful example of intergovernmental cooperation, and really appreciate the ingenuity of moving on the fly and switching direction to get so many people, more people in there. It shows that our staff knows how to do things in real time and doesn't let bureaucracy stand in the way. So congratulations on a great event. I do have one follow-up question. Do we know when the second round not the second round of this one, but the next round of first doses might be available to Downers Grove?
Thank you, Commissioner. Village staff is pursuing opportunities for vaccination clinics continuously by contacting licensed shot providers, by continuously contacting DuPage County Health Department, and looking for other opportunities with other governments. At this point, we're not aware of any further vaccine opportunities. We will continue to pursue them, and of course, if any opportunity presents itself, we will immediately jump at that chance and get the word out to the public as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. Leslie?
I just want to echo my fellow commissioners' thanks to the village and to the whole consortium for, again, quick thinking on your feet and providing such a wonderful opportunity to the community. So thank you for your hard work again.
Cool.
Don't want to be too repetitive, but got to thank staff. Everybody's going to thank staff here tonight. So our village staff was able to work with these local school superintendents for an opportunity for our residents when this was intended for the school districts themselves. So they were able to join efforts, work together, morphed it into this opportunity for residents to get vaccines. The fact that village staff and superintendents could work together to facilitate something that they had zero training for. Nobody knew how to go about this necessarily. No one had any training. This was not in anyone's job description. And the fact that they were able to navigate these quite uncharted waters, I feel like is nothing short of amazing. And we were able to get so many people vaccinated. And I echo Commissioner Earl, best $17,000 we ever spent. So big thank you to staff and to our local superintendents for making it possible. Thanks.
Thank you. Greg?
Thank you, Mayor. This is going to sound familiar. Thank you, staff. And thank you to everybody in the consortium. And I think it speaks to the strength of the relationship between this organization and District 99 and District 58 and the ability of our staff to build those relationships, not only with them, but with the other members of the consortium as well. It's just a huge win, and thank you to everybody involved. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you all. I second everything my colleagues said about this event. They nailed it, and we really do appreciate the work. Thank you.
Really, really proud moment for the whole community. That ends the manager's report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Public comments. This is the portion of our meeting open to general public comments of any nature. We move this to the end of the meeting to try and allow folks watching at home an opportunity to weigh in on events during the meeting. So if there's anyone here tonight that has a comment they want to add to the record or a question they'd like to ask, feel free to come down to the podium. And seeing none, Mr. Baker shaking his head. We don't have any comments online during the meeting either. So that'll take us to item 9, our mayor and council member reports. This is a portion of our meeting where council members raise issues of importance to them about goings on in the neighborhood or other groups they're interacting with. We'll start with our online folks. Marge, do you have anything for us this evening?
Yeah, actually I do, Mayor. I was in a meeting late last week, and the park superintendent had joined our meeting, and we all had, historically, I want to say maybe 15 years back, we weren't on the best terms necessarily all the time with our partner governments. We weren't always working together to optimize our dollars and our efforts. And in the last 15 years, mostly through Manager Fieldman's guidance, I believe, we have really turned that relationship around, and everyone does nothing but speak highly of the village and the village employees, which I'm so thankful for, and the cooperation and the leadership that they feel our community is now getting from the village, and the opportunities to work together have just been amazing and have culminated in this giant vaccination program that we just completed. Maybe another one, that would be fantastic. As many as we can get until everybody's taken care of would be my vote. But I'm just so proud that they, everyone has stepped up, and that Manager Fieldman has really become a leading figure and a respected leading figure in our community, and I can't thank him enough for that. Every time I hear good things about the village, I know the reason that they're there. So thank you very much, Dave. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Marge.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Marge. Rich?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I just want to let everyone know that I'm finishing my 81st day in the hospital from a critical case of COVID. We're fairly certain that a man I was helping came into the store, was standing behind me while I was on the computer working on his order. When he first came in, he had his mask down under his nose. I asked him to please put it up. He complied, went to the restroom, came back, and then while I was working on his order, or before I started, he handed me a medical card that says he was not required. He could not wear a mask. I'd never seen one before. So I helped him, and during that time, while I was helping him, and my back was turned to him, he pulled his mask down and got into my personal space. So I just would remind people that masks are primarily intended for asymptomatic people who have COVID and don't know it to not infect others. So I would implore you to do that to help your fellow members of the community. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Rich. Good reminder, and we're still thrilled to be hearing your voice. Kavanaugh, anything this evening?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is kind of piggybacking off of our just fantastic report and how we were able to serve our residents with the vaccine. I think as we kind of move through this year and we see names like Pfizer and Moderna and the newest Johnson & Johnson, you can't help but be filled with some small bit of hope on the horizon, one of the terms that I heard recently. And I think just even hearing Rich's voice and having him back as a part of the council, I think falls right in line with that just that feeling of hope. Day by day is what I tell Rich. But just as much as we are hopeful, I think that we have to continue to remain and stay vigilant in terms of how we think about COVID and how we process COVID in our day-to-day lives. It's as important as ever to keep your distance socially when possible. It's as important today as it was last year to continue to keep your hands washed or to keep hand sanitizer handy or to use it if you're out in public. It's equally as important today to continue to wear our mask even when it's uncomfortable and you don't feel like it, because the reality is that COVID doesn't really care if you're bored with it. It just does not care. It does not care about your holiday plans or what you want to do for spring break. And so I say that kind of piggybacking off of a couple of things this evening, and also just that, again, we were reminded that COVID does not care, and it does not discriminate on who it tears down or who it takes. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Kavanaugh. Leslie?
Yeah. I would like to celebrate Women's History Month. Just as a background, women did not actually get the right to own property in the U.S. until 1848, couldn't vote until 1920, and really black women couldn't vote until 1965 with the passing of the Voting Rights Act. Sadly, women couldn't get a mortgage or a credit card without a dad or a husband co-signing until 1974. To give you an idea, my own mother was 24 years old at the time. Luckily, I guess married so that they could own their first home. We're making progress, but we're still not quite there. So in 2009, we got the Ledbetter Fair Pay Act, but as of 2020, women still only earn 81 cents to the dollar. It's even worse for black women, who only earn 62 cents to the dollar compared to white men. Over 5 million of the jobs lost in 2020 were women, where we make up 53.1% of the workforce and 56.6% of the losses were women. So a large share. And it was even worse if you were a black, Latino, or Hispanic woman. And we've shouldered so much of the child care over this last year. So the reason why we celebrate women's history is because of all of those feats and knowing that we still have a little bit of ways to go. So today I'd like to celebrate a woman who is currently making history. So the New York Times bestselling author Janet Mock continues to make history as a writer, director, and advocate. In 2018, Mock became the first transgender woman of color to write and direct an episode of television. She hopes her creations will continue to empower people and equip them to tell their own stories. She was born on March 10, 1983 in Hawaii. The second of 5 children, she was born as Charles. In her memoir, Janet recalls knowing at a young age that she was a girl born in a boy's body. By the end of her freshman year of high school, she began the process of hormonal transitioning. She started with hormone therapy during her sophomore year with the help of her friend, Wendy, who started the process a year before. When Mock was 18 years old, she started school at the University of Hawaii, and in the middle of her first year, she had gender reassignment surgery and eventually graduated with her degree in fashion merchandising. After graduation, she attended the New York University for Journalism and graduated with her master's degree and worked for People magazine. She had a magazine article published by Marie Claire after learning about many of that. After learning about how many transgender children committed suicide, she decided to tell her story as a form of encouragement. She submitted a video to the It Gets Better public service campaign in 2011 to encourage children that have been bullied in school because of their gender, sexuality, or sexual orientation. In 2012, she left her position at People and signed a contract to write a book about her early years. Her first book, Redefining Realness, My Path to Womanhood, Identity, Love, and So Much More, was published in 2014 and was a New York Times bestseller. She eventually produced an HBO documentary, created the Allure magazine column Beauty Beyond Binaries, started an interview podcast series, and served as a correspondent for Entertainment Tonight. She started a social media campaign in 2012 called Girls Like Us to empower transgender women. Mock joined the board of directors at the Arcus Foundation a year later to advocate for LGBTQ rights. She was interviewed by Oprah Winfrey and has been interviewed by countless other media outlets. She's been honored by the Ms. Foundation, Planned Parenthood, Feminist Press, Listen, Shorty Awards, and the Sylvia Rivera Law Project. She's been in 100 Most Influential People list, Variety Magazine's Power of Women list, Ebony Magazine's Ebony 100, Fast Company's Most Creative People in Business, and Oprah Magazine's Super Soul 100. In 2017, her second memoir called Surpassing Certainty, What My 20s Taught Me was published. She then began working on scripted television shows. Most recently, she signed a deal with Netflix to create content for their website, and it made her the first openly transgender woman of color to sign a deal with a major content company. She'll also serve as an executive producer and director on Ryan Murphy's new Netflix series. So in honor of Women's History Month, I think we should all celebrate those who came before us and those who are still making history today. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Nicole.
Thank you, Mayor. The Rotary Club of Downers Grove is now accepting applications for their annual Charles Dickerman Music Scholarships. Each year, the club presents a $2,000 check to deserving high school seniors involved in music who reside in Downers Grove or the District 99 attendance area. For more information, you can reach out to the music faculty in your local school, or you can feel free to contact me, and I would be happy to provide some more information. Just to piggyback a little bit off of Commissioner Sadowski-Fugett's report, I wanted to briefly touch on Women's History Month as well. Between the years of 1988 and 1994, Congress passed resolutions requesting the President to proclaim March of each year following Women's History Month. President Jimmy Carter stated the following: "From the first settlers who came to our shores, from the first American Indian families who befriended them, men and women have worked together to build this nation. Too often, the women were unsung, and sometimes their contributions went unnoticed. But the achievements, leadership, courage, strength, and love of the women who built America was as vital as that of the men whose names we know so well." I've met many incredibly strong, smart, passionate women that live in this community, two of whom are my colleagues here on council. I have two college girlfriends right now who are currently receiving chemotherapy for cancer before the age of 40-something, which I cannot even fathom. One of them wore a shirt to her first treatment that said, "I'm as strong as the woman next to me," and that's something that I absolutely believe. I hope we can all continue to lift each other up and root for each other today and every day moving forward as women. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Greg.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank Commissioner Sadowski-Fugett and Commissioner Wallace for their presentations. And I don't think I could follow that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Wise choice. I want to just touch briefly on Kodo Care, the event we had, and what you're seeing from this council this week and in some previous weeks. It may seem to some casual observers like there's very little going on in the village of Downers Grove. We have an evening tonight that we're going to be over in a half an hour, and we had one first reading item. The truth of the matter is your village is doing two things. One, making up a lot of ground from 2020. You heard Andy tonight talk about our roads project, and Greg properly characterized that. There is a lot of catching up for 2020 going on, so those are decisions that we've generally already made but are now encountering a lot of actual work. And then the other thing that's happening is, whether it was the wise words from Marge and Kavanaugh and Rich about, keeping our eye on the ball as it relates to COVID. That's certainly true. It's also true that your village continues to have to react almost nonstop to COVID-related issues, whether they're vaccination clinics or they're dealing with getting our own employees vaccinated, or it's managing the still as yet unpredictable fallout of it. There's just a lot of work going on, and I'm probably not doing it justice tonight, but as I sat here and I looked at that clock and I thought, my goodness, we're going to end up with a 25-minute meeting where we didn't do anything, if you're kind of watching casually. It's important that the village knows there is a lot of really hard, good work going on, and it's stuff that you will hear and see us talk about in the future. Our work plan is still online. You can look at our long-range plan at the village's website and see what some of those things are. If you pick up that and you look at 2020, you'll see more activity from this council in the very near future, but there's real work going on. So with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Rosa, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Aye.
Commissioner Colavani?
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit?
Aye.
Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Mayor Barnett?
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you and good night.